Yo, what up? We're back.
What up?
Us
What
three.
up?
See, they're all copying me now. They know
Yeah.
that I'm cool one, so they'll just copy
Yeah.
me.
No, we're doing this purely for
Entertainment reasons.
yeah, some bants, I believe the ex-youth call it.
Ex-youth.
It's probably a new probably a new word by now.
Yeah.
In fact, Aaron,
Yeah.
you're
I'm-
like a kid.
I'm not cool enough to know the words, so
Yeah, right, fair enough. Then that's fine.
yeah.
Yeah.
Who
So
knows?
this week we're gonna have a chat about our favourite cars and favourite what drivers.
Drivers, cars, influences, stuff that we basically, instead of probably looking at like the backside of the Max Power poster with the girls on, I just had the cars on instead.
Yeah.
I don't look at the cars.
Oh, I was in a cult, couldn't really do it anyway, so just have to turn them round.
So
Fair play.
where shall we start?
Well, I think Jonathan should kick this one off.
Mine were a bit random though. Mine. So I didn't have a massive car influence growing up. I was mainly around bikes for motorsport. I also don't really remember my childhood, which is a slight issue when you're trying to remember things from your childhood. So, slight problem. So, in terms of cars,
we never limited it to childhood, so.
Oh, well, that's good. Well, in terms of cars, anyway, like when I grew up, it was just Japanese, like modified Skylines, Supras, Evos. I never liked the Impreza.
You do not.
No, when I was young, I hated the Impreza. I thought it was a chavmobile.
Did you like Evos?
I did growing up. Yeah, now I'm the complete opposite. Because
Yeah, I think that's what it was. Where either you liked Evos or Impreza.
Yeah, there were nothing in between. And I think as well when I got into, because like I said, I kind of grew up in motorbikes, and then when I kind of like ventured out into the world, and like the cars, it was very much Japanese influence. So there was a lot of drift influence when I was probably in my late teens. Late teens, and then I very much now have the complete opposite view in the fact that I want to drive an Impreza through a forest stage before I die, because otherwise I will haunt every fucking forest stage rally there is, just so I can sit in it and pretend, I feel it go through me.
I mean, I hate to break it to you, but when you've gone, I don't think there'll be much forest rallying there.
That actually makes me feel not that old, because I feel like there's a good 20 years before I die then. Maybe less.
Well,
I don't know. It's a dying sport. But yeah.
Well, that's impressive. So, yeah. But yeah, I think...
So you still didn't say what your favourite car was?
Alright. My favourite car of all time, and this has actually been since I was young, is a 247.
I was going to say, it better not be a Mark II Escort, just because I sent you some photos yesterday.
No, Mark II Escort's about number 3.
Yeah? So go on then, why a 240 then?
I think it's the most beautiful looking thing ever created by a human in this world.
I mean, they're very versatile, what you can do with them, really, aren't they? Like how people style them and stuff.
Yeah.
God,
So
that
long
took
as
you
you
a
do
while
it
to answer
white
that.
or blue with bronze wheels, and preferably an RB25 in it.
There's a nice green one I've seen, though. Like,
that needs to be changed colours.
I'll send you a picture of it, and I think you'll like it.
I quite like the historic rally car version.
Yes, I only came across them recently, and wow, that blew my mind.
Yeah, like the one on Dirt Rally, like it's so like nice to handle. It's not the fastest, but you know you can go out and it's a lot diverse for everyone to like drive. It's sort of like a rear-wheel drive and can jump.
I think as well with the history of the 240 for me anyway was because when I got into cars I had a big Japanese influence in cars. Don't know why, probably just Fast and Furious. But the 240 was like the first like real sports car from Japan in the 70s that revolutionised for Japan. People seen Japan as a sports car manufacturer. Before that, it was just why the hell would you get a Japanese car really if you want in Japan?
Yeah. Because like the 240Z in Japan when that came out was like the Escort over it.
Exactly.
It was just like a development thing, really. Isn't it?
Yeah, that's it. But then, very closely following that is another Japanese car.
Here we go.
Is the what the heck is that noise? Is the R32 GTR, and specifically Godzilla, as in the dominant of the touring car scene with it.
Like the one that Jake Hill drove.
Yeah, because he drove the blue liveried up car, which is just incredible. And that
dominated Australian motorsport until it got banned.
That's it. Is anybody else hearing that buzzing, by the way?
Yeah, I can hear that.
That's definitely me then, isn't it?
Yeah, because it keeps on flicking up on your green thing. Oh well, if you can't hear it, it won't be recorded. It's all good. But like, the R32. I mean, I had an R32 GTST, which I still want to cry over most days because I no longer own it. Fortunately, he's not in the country. It got bought by a company in Holland to basically restore, and they had a buyer in Germany for it at the time. It's also got sold for £2,000, and now I may have lost a lot of money compared to what it would be worth now. So that's a bit of a sore subject as well.
That could have been like your motorsport paid for like the next however long 10 years.
Yeah. So that would have been that's slightly annoying. So I had very much had that in. What made me sell it? I was made redundant twice in 4 months. I moved counties and had bailiffs at the door and couldn't get a job because of a recession. What I should have done was just go at him with a machete.
Yeah, because I've heard the story before. It's
it's
probably
sad.
not a laughing story, but
no. It's one of those sore subjects of my life.
Anyway, number 3, the best bit.
So anyway, we've got your car. What's your driver?
Okay,
so my most kind of person. I don't have a lot of like influential drivers. The most influential person when I was growing up that I still do put on a pedestal is Valentino Rossi, who is technically a driver now. You know, I grew up around motorbikes. Hey?
He always has been a driver, right?
Yeah, he's always done bit. I mean, he's done a bit of rallying, hasn't he? He's done whatever, like track stuff. He's done quite a few bits over the years. I think, if I'm right, when I read the biography of him, his dad was a motorbike racer. Yeah. His dad was like all or nothing. He was either going to do really well or he was coming off and smashing the hell out of everything. So when he was, yeah, just Colin McRae as well did the bit where he got more awards and won stuff more. Yeah, but Rossi, like, so when he was a kid and he was coming up, they obviously would put him in go-karts and they wanted him to go down the car route because obviously the kind of injuries his dad has, which a lot of motorbikes probably do. Say like the Dunlops and what have you.
You look at them when they're like 30 and still competing, and they look like 50, and think what they're gonna look like in 20 years.
So if you look at what was it, Joey Dunlop? Like when he was on the TT and he moved from the superbikes down to the smaller 250s because he couldn't actually hold on anymore. He didn't have a clutch because he couldn't move his hand. So they did the clutch on the thumb, I want to say, or was it on the? They basically just had to change it all because his arm was smashed up, like absolute legend. So Rossi's parents had actually tried to make him go into cars, but they couldn't afford it.
Right.
So they basically had to let him go race motorbikes, and then it became, you know, if you think that's how long his career's been. When I was a kid, like when I looked at him, like his personality. Bear in mind as well at the time, you know, I obviously growing up, I was in the strict religion, so to watch this person who was so flamboyant, who was so he was like magnetic to me. You know, and he's always stayed with me. You know, although I don't watch as much motorbike stuff anymore, he kind of, I think, probably helped give me that motorsport love that I have, because I was like, wow, these people are in this world. You know, and then obviously as I've kind of grown up and I've started to watch your McRae's and, you know, even like your modern like Johans and what have you, like.
And them like Harry Walshaws, they're pretty good as well.
Yeah, those Walshaws and a bit iffy, but you know, every now and again they do all right.
They're still learning, aren't they? At the end.
Yeah. You know, they're inspirations for the future.
What more can I say?
Yeah. But yeah, and then obviously like my Ford love came about like with my Japanese, so that's where I started going from, you know, the 240Z, the R32 GTR, the Group A Impreza, GC8, and then it basically goes Fords.
Yeah.
Because, you know, Mark II Escorts, XR2 Fiestas, you know, even into like the later Escorts, the look of them just amazing.
Yeah. So let's touch on your love for Rallycross then. Who's like your sort of inspiration within the Rallycross world? This can be like past.
We'll come back in half an hour.
Yeah, when I've thought about it, it's tough, man. I mean, the first time
we'll carry this over into next week.
Yeah, probably, because we've got on. Obviously, I'm pretty new to Rallycross in reality.
Yeah.
I finally properly watched it in probably 2019. And obviously, I kind of I've loved rallying, did a bit of marketing back in the day. Things had sort of changed in a lot, and I kind of come away from motorsport and then got back in and you know, again, starting to try and get back onto the rally stuff and the touring cars. But when I watched Rallycross 2019, I was blown. Well, no, it would have been late 2019, and then a rewatch, because back then you could just watch it on YouTube because it was IMG and it wasn't Red Bull. I must admit, watching, you know, Johan Kristoffersson or on the previous ones and then in 2020, but then watching Andreas Backerud, that was, for me, again, it was this personality of someone who was very outgoing, you know, realistic. I was still trying to find myself anyway at the time. And so watching one driving a car like he did, and the battles he had with Timmy Hansen. But for me, you know, I do rate the Johans and Andreas over the Hansens, just because as people they seem a bit more, you know, they were there for the fans and whatever. So I've got to say, modern wise, Andreas Backerud all day long for me.
I must admit, like, I remember Andreas Backerud driving for Camblock's team, the Hoonigan.
Yeah.
And his like vlogs at that point were just brilliant.
Yeah,
you know, every week he'd be doing something new and interesting. When Ken announced that he was leaving WRX and he took Andreas out with all like his cars and stuff, that was good stuff.
Yeah, it was cool, man. And I must admit, obviously coming in from, you know, an older and that extreme sports love, and as much as I know people hate it, but the likes of your Ken Blocks, obviously there was a thing of that rally, that rallycross, that, and I was saying this today for you earlier, that I think when I saw it, I'd been very much an extreme sports lover, because it was so out there, it was so far detached from my world. and then I kind of, in my head, I saw this in cars. I saw this in this other thing I loved, and you know, the rally and the rallycross was just like it blew my mind.
Yeah.
And hence why I am obsessed ever since. And now, obviously, I'm looking back at the older stuff, and you know, looking at your Petters or your Will Gollops, or you know, and I'm
the Will Gollop and the Martin Shanker days were like probably the best days of rally.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I still VHS rallies on YouTube. And I'm going to VHS rallies, man. There's quality that is. He's world rallies as well on it. He don't have this. You're living half a life, mate. You're living half a life.
Living in now, mate. I'm living now.
Living now.
Yeah, but no.
If you beat up Fiesta with the oil leak that you're not going to solve.
Yep. Living
I'm
now.
never going to fix either. He's going to go to a track day again, do 5 laps, realise it's pissing oil out, and then stop again.
It's fine. If you don't get it up to temperature, it don't come out.
£250, innit?
I love how like he talks outside of his mouth.
I know. I don't know why I do it, but I do. I think it's from years of playing Xbox. I just talk outside of my mouth towards where the microphone is.
Well, one day I'm going to go to a track day and it's going to piss oil out everywhere. What up?
Oh, no. But, yeah.
Anyway.
I told you it was a bit random, a bit different.
Yeah.
So, yeah, moving on. Harry, do you want to go next?
Oh, by the way, I will just say, we've got a few people that we've asked as well from the world of thingy. So,
well, yeah, my dad,
and Harry's dad. That's a good point. Your man supporting the socials. So well, yeah, stay around for that as well.
He sort of mentioned one of mine, so I guess I can't really.
We'll say you first.
Because, yeah.
You know, and then he's copied Annie because it was afterwards.
Well, yeah, exactly.
Sorry, Andy.
My probably top heroes are like Harry Batten, you know. I got speaking to over lockdown. I sent him an email saying, "Oh, you know, I do a bit of competing in the UK, and you know, you're a big hero of mine." And he emailed me back asking for my number. So I sent him my number over lockdown. And one Sunday, he rang me up. We had about an hour's conversation. Dear good, do you know when they go over the cattle grid on the Isle of Man and his co-driver's like, "Dear God," when he had the puncture. We had like an hour conversation over that, and he was telling me about it and how strong his fingers were, and if his fingers weren't that strong, he wouldn't be able to save the car. So we had a really good conversation over that. So I guess he's one of my earliest and like best heroes of all time. With the because obviously the Mark II's got my favourite car. I don't know. He's just a great guy. Like he's gone from nothing to this big like sensation, and he's gone from being this rally driver to just wanting like world peace and sorting anything out. He was a politician as well. So you know, both on and off the track, he is a really big like hero. He was all or nothing. He was a bit like the predecessor to Colin McRae, you could say. And yeah, he's a big hero of mine. Another, Henry Toivonen, Talbot Sunbeams. What can I say?
Yeah, quality car, quality driver.
Away from rallying, I don't know, because I'm fairly new to motorsport outside of rallying.
That's because you're about 12.
I know. Well, I only started watching BTCC in 2020.
You got obsessed with that quick, man, so you didn't miss a flipping round.
Yeah. Well, no.
you were up at like 4 in the morning to go get a bloody bus and a train down to wherever the hell in the UK. I mean, that's commitment, mate. I'll give you that.
Yeah, well, it was worth it for the drinking and everything else. It's not.
Drink responsibly, people.
Yeah, well, what can I say? But I only started watching in 2020 over lockdown. I was bored, and AD, who supports me and comes to a lot of my races, was saying, "Oh, you know, come and watch this. We'll have to go to some races," and it was just great.
Yeah,
like
the amount of times I've told one of my mates who was like proper into F1, I'm like, you need to watch touring cars. Like it's so good. Like
they don't know what they're missing.
I know. Just the amount of times I've told him.
They never listen.
I know.
No. I mean, I know, like, you know, me and Harry are incredibly pro rallying, and obviously I'm obsessed with rallycross, but we'll never like turn down touring cars. It's awesome.
Not
F1 on the other hand, you can bloody sod off. It's crap.
I was boycotting single venue rallies last year to go to the touring cars. Probably because I wasn't competing, mainly because I couldn't afford to compete. Well,
yeah, that's fair enough.
I could, but I didn't want to.
No.
There just seemed no point in doing it, and then I did the rally at Melbourne, and it was like, okay, here we go again. We've got the bug again. So yeah, we'll go for it this year, I think.
So that's favourite drivers.
And I also just put in a random favourite non-car.
No.
Non-car?
Yeah.
What is it, like a vacuum cleaner?
Penny farthing.
No. The 916 Ducati.
Don't know what
Let me just Google it.
Yeah,
it's a bike, innit? I'm not.
I know it's a bike, but I don't know what it looks like. So.
Look at it.
Don't mean anything to me.
Funny.
Your words.
I'll show you a picture afterwards.
I didn't tell you my favourite car drive
in Rhine
Championship.
Go on.
Ollie Jackson and the Ford Focus. It just couldn't be anything else.
Fair enough.
That Ford is just beautiful.
Yeah, I'm down for that.
Goes that out. And this year we've got Ash Sutton and Dan Camish driving as well, so that car is going to go pretty quick. Hopefully, fingers crossed, constructors, something like that.
Yeah.
Driver Championship. And it'll be a lot more interesting as well with the hybrid era.
Yep. Should be.
Which, speaking of the hybrid era, I reckon we should have our little conversation about the WRC at the weekend. Perfect timing.
Yeah.
So what do we reckon?
If you want. Go on.
Go on. Jonathan?
What
do you reckon?
I feel like he's just like not listened to any of what you've just said.
WRC with hybrids?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool.
Is that it?
Good, yeah. It's it's a bigger conversation. Well, I will just chat for the next 20-30 minutes.
Go on, then.
Well, no, because that's next week.
Yeah. Well,
I
come back next week for that.
No, next week. Because literally, I've been talking to like the people at Carbon Neutral Motorsport.
So he's going to run for a full hour, and we won't be able to speak, so it's fine. It. So yeah, next week, WRC hybrid shit.
Yeah, man. And just motorsport and all that without just talking about electric, because it's not all that.
Yeah. So
in terms of not all motorsport should be electric.
Yeah, there's the little trailer for next week.
There you go. So shall I do mine then? I guess.
Yeah, I think you should crack on.
Go.
So favorite car.
It's going to be McLaren F1. It's
No.
going to be like Lando Norris, and it's going to be touring cars.
No.
And Zach Brown's just an absolute sexy beast, like, isn't he?
I mean, he is.
But he's going to top it off with probably this Sierra Cozzy.
No.
Yeah, right.
I mean, it's up there. It's definitely up there.
Hang on, this is blowing my head. Okay, what's your number one?
Probably RS 200.
Oh yeah, okay, that's fair.
Because I've only ever seen like two in my life. Well, it's probably
when
the same
you came
one.
to the Rallycross with me.
Oh no, and that one, yeah. Forgot about that one.
Two of them. Yeah. You had Steve Harris and you had Liam Duran.
That's true.
So you've seen four now in your life.
I think the one that I've seen at Ford shows though is probably been the same one every year.
Probably,
I'll tell you what though. Have you seen a Lancia 037 Integrale?
I have, and that is also a very nice car.
It was insane. 2016 Wales Rally GB at Chonley Castle. They did like the demo runs with the old like rally cars, and Harry Toyven was there with the 6R4, and right behind him was a Lancia 037. Never seen anything as nice ever before. So yeah, sorry, I'm saying.
No, it's alright. So yeah, that's probably favourite car.
Yeah.
Probably with a Ferrari.
Wasn't the RS200 a parts bin special?
Yeah, pretty much.
Made by the engineers. Yeah, I thought it was.
Yeah, because they made it to rally, didn't they?
And it was like a side project, wasn't it, originally?
I think
if I'm
so.
right.
And then at one point, because they'd scrapped Group B, they couldn't sell them. Like, nobody were buying them. Nobody wanted to buy them. So you can't pick them up.
I know that they've run out of bits now.
Yeah.
I know that they've run out of bits now. So, like, if you blow a gearbox, you got to spend however many monies it is to build a new one. I couldn't even put a price on it.
No. I know.
It's crazy.
Yeah, they were just like giving them away at one point. Nobody wanted them, and now they're worth stupid money. And I think they are just gorgeous cars.
And idiots go rallycross them because of the legend.
Especially Ken Block's that he had.
Oh.
I don't know if he's still got it or not, but that was, and it is still amazing.
I quite like Block's, the Skoda sort of like WRC lookalike that he had.
Yeah.
It was I think it was just a Skoda R5 Evo 2 or whatever it was, and then he put a massive.
It wasn't his, was it?
I don't know, but he put on like a 2016 spec like WRC like body colour. It looked really nice, really tidy.
I just like his liveries as well.
Isn't it? I really liked his Cozzy, the one that he won Rally Barbados in. That was
that moves on quite nicely to favourite driver.
Yeah, Ken Block. Here we go.
Yeah, fair enough.
There you go.
Fanboy.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know whether I'd say favourite driver, but he's definitely up there. He's definitely one of my favourites.
In the modern world and the YouTube, and bearing in mind that we're all kind of like that shit, he is there. He is influential in the fact that he took these sports to mainstream, like to everybody in the house knew who he was.
Yeah.
They'd seen the Gymkhana vid, they'd seen these cars, they'd seen him rallycrossing, they'd seen, I can speak to people who don't know what rallycross is, but when you speak about Ken Block and then you kind of say, oh, you remember that program where they did it with the foot? And he's like, oh yeah, he's like, and they know what these things are. He was modern wise, yeah.
He is like the ambassador for sort of dirt motorsport.
Yeah.
He's a force to be reckoned with.
He is.
And then probably another of my favourites, probably Plato at one point. It's got to be up there. I mean, it's not very good anymore, is it? But back when
you don't have to be good to like him.
No, I mean, I still like him, obviously. I'm saying, like, at one point he probably was one of my favourites. He's still up
when
there.
He was.
Yeah, when he was winning. When I was a Glory fan, or whatever you call him.
Still are.
Not a fan now, are you?
No, to be fair, I do think he's quite funny.
You only supported Lando Norris since he got pole at Sochi.
Yeah. But
been a McLaren fan since Monza 2021.
Yeah. And hey, I've got a McLaren top from back when Hamilton drove for him. Back in the day. It's still sat in my cupboard.
Was that the year he won it?
No, I think it was the year before. It was back when Jensen Bottom drove for him. That's another of my favourite drivers.
So it was after he won it?
Yeah. I think it was from then, yeah, I think Plato sticks in my mind from when he used to do fifth gear a lot. Me and my dad used to watch that. Everybody used to slag fifth gear off, saying it was shit compared to Top Gear, but
I liked it.
It was good.
Like really. Tiff was
on Top Gear though. You didn't get like Tiff Liddell showing you how to do handbrake turns in Mackie's car park humour, did you?
Legend. Right, he went on the road that I used to live on before they put the average speed cameras up it. They got Raleigh Snake Pass. Right.
Yeah. That's where I learned to drive.
He almost got taken out on that road. Hilarious.
Snake Pass?
Not Snake Pass. What am I
say?
Snake Pass is in North Yorkshire.
Yeah, Macclesfield to Buxton.
Oh. I was going to say, because Snake Pass is the entrance to Crooks.
Yeah. I like this praying above your head.
I'm trying to remember. I'm trying to pray that I could actually remember something from my life that isn't boring. Oh, lift on it. Like, well, not on it. I was one straight off.
I was in Snake Pass a couple of weeks ago. Well, say a couple of weeks ago. It was about a month.
Got Google.
Yeah, so that's mine probably. We'll leave it at that. I think. They're mine.
Not gonna lie, it's underwhelming compared to us.
Yeah, definitely.
I've told the story of what happened at Snake Pass, but I don't think my friend's insurance company will be very amused.
I've had some interesting...
Cat and Fiddle. Cat and Fiddle.
There you go.
That's the road I'm on about. Cat and Fiddle. Quality road. In fact, you could do a triangle from the Cat and Fiddle, so you went from Macclesfield to Buxton, Buxton to Chapel Henley Frith,
Is that
which was...
That sounds very Welsh, like Aberystwyth.
Chapel Henley Frith. It was a dodgy Derbyshire town. I had mates in there. There was a quality pub, Lamb's Head or something like that.
Oh yeah, that's typical
Very
village
drunk.
pub name. Lamb's Head.
A heavy metal New Year's party there. Quality night.
JB,
good memories.
Still
Yeah, man. Good memories there.
Back in olden days.
Back in there.
Well, it was a very, very long time ago, yeah.
When JB were at that.
Yeah. Yeah. Interesting times. And then from Chapel Henley Frith back over to Mcbain. I can't remember what that road was. That triangle was epic.
Is that what they call the Evo triangle?
No.
No. Tried to put my 5 pence in.
You did and you failed.
I know, I've heard...
Just a set of roads I used to do, man. It was cool. Really, really good.
Because I know there is something called Evo Triangle, in there, but I don't actually know where it is.
So moving on to favourite roads then, is that your favourite road?
No.
No.
Because it's got average speed cameras on it now.
Yeah, but if it didn't...
If it did, yeah, it's awesome. I love it. And then you could go down into Cauley Valley, right? When back in me day,
when
I basically escaped life with the cars, there was a place called Cauley Valley, which is not in this country, in case any police
is it in Wales?
It's in where can't you get points from? Somewhere where it doesn't matter. We'll go for Mexico because that's what the Americans say. And literally, Cauley Valley is like, it's a valley, funnily enough, but the country roads are proper country roads. They are like single roads. They're just like yay wide. And I was in the Skyline at the time, so this is a bus of a car. The bonnet's a straight 6 bonnet. It's like huge. Follow my mate.
Like trying to do the Isle of Man in like a Sierra Cosworth or something.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I'll follow my mate in his Mark 1 Clio. Right, strips out little thing, and he rolls back the amp. And I had enough mate in passenger seat. But I was like, he's not losing me. At one point, I had the bonnet in the bush on the left-hand side, going round a left-hander, on opposite lock, with my boot in the bush at the back of the thing, and just taking all the bushes with me, trying to keep up with him, with my mate in the passenger seat, giggling like a little schoolgirl. That was a night. How I survived, I don't know.
You were driving a Skyline and you got whooped by a Clio?
No.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the fact was, I was having a hell of a lot more fun.
You got whooped by a Clio on a Skyline.
Pretty much.
Speaking of the Sierra Cosworth around Isle of Man, my dad decided to take his Cosy up on and do butter tubs.
What Cosy has your dad got?
Sierra Cosworth.
Is it a Sapphire or like an RS500?
Not the RS500, but that shape. So 3-door Sierra.
Just with the Cosy lump.
What?
To it.
You what?
Did the Cosy lump as standard, or did he whack it in himself?
No, it's standard. It's just
genuine.
Yeah, it's the standard version of the RS500 basically. That's still a Cosy.
No, yeah.
It's absolutely stunning.
He paid like $7,000 for it. Back in the day.
A long time ago.
Yeah. 1 year before I was born.
Tell you what though, when you messaged me that somebody got into the back of him, I was just like, I just wanted to cry. I was like, I can't do that to that. Like, what? They don't know what it is.
Yeah, so he decided to take that on butter tubs. So
does he tell girl that he drives an old Ford?
Yeah. He used to drive. He used to daily drive it to post office.
Why not?
When, like, obviously when he first got it, and obviously it was so fucking loud. Because
leaving house or whatever
exhaust
time in the
like
morning.
this big.
Yeah, what happened?
Nearly fit me head in it.
Yeah.
It used to rattle the house.
Yeah.
It used to rattle the house when he started it up. Yeah, so he took it on Butter Tubs Run. So we did this like there were a charity Butter Tubs Run. So me and my dad thought, oh yeah, we'll go in Causey because it'll be a nice leisurely stroll. I mean, it was for most of it, but the one part when it opened up a bit and we started picking it up a bit, and
yeah.
There was like a bridge,
Right.
and it was quite short bridge, so it was quite like steep, and I'm pretty sure he caught exhaust on the bottom because exhaust's like really low because it's not big.
Right.
Heard it scratch going over the top of this bridge.
This was like when I was rallying at Anglesey. Like we'd come over this like jump that they'd made. It's made out of like concrete, and as you landed, you could hear the sump guard scrape on the floor. It was like.
Please hold up.
Well, there were a Polo as well there that smashed his sump going over that, which were quite that one knackered.
They're really nice, aren't
I like the old G40 Polo.
Yeah.
Proper like that weird like kick.
I quite like the like the 2015 mod. The 1 litre like turbo thing. They're really.
Yeah.
I'm not saying one because I'm not saying that because I've got.
I thought they were rubbish, to be fair, mate. But, whatever.
Genuinely nice, you know.
So, moving on. Do you want to say some other people that you've got?
Yeah.
Well, I'll let you do your dad first because he posted up, didn't he? And I forgot what he said because I ain't got it up.
I think I forgot the car, but I remember the drive.
Boyo!
You said it was the same car as you, didn't you?
No, same driver.
Oh, same
driver. That's what I didn't mention.
The
right foot braking wizard of Finland.
Hang on, where is it? I've lost it. Right. Yeah, Group A Escort Cosworth. Fair play to him.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Fair play.
Yeah, I'm down for that.
Not sure my granddad will be very happy though.
Does your granddad watch this?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Hi,
Sorry, granddad, easy.
Help, Steve. Yeah,
Steve.
me granddad's more.
I'll meet you one day. I'll be down at Delacy eventually.
Yeah, he'll be at East Riding.
Or East Riding. I'll be there anyway.
And probably all of my events this year. So.
Yes.
Yeah, my granddad doesn't really like it. Well, I think he does now, but when it first came out, he didn't like the Escort Cosworth. He was much more into his Sierras and his full cadets and whatever.
Oh, what a car!
He had a rear-wheel drive Fiesta XR2 at one.
I love XR2s.
Well, you see, my dad's favourite driver is UR Kankanen, just to sort of get back on top of it.
Yeah.
The right foot braking wizard of Finland.
Yeah, man.
It didn't rhyme, but
no. Who needs it to rhyme?
Poems don't need to rhyme.
Technically, they don't, depending on what kind of poem it is.
Well, you see, this is a very
let's not go into this discussion about fucking poems.
I think we should go into this discussion.
No, I haven't. It's been a long time. I'm already nerdy enough. So yeah, right. So got a good few people who.
Come on, Andrew Coley. Come on, win it. That's what we want to know.
So Andrew Coley, if you don't know who he is,
just go away.
Yeah,
I mean, even I know who he is, but that's only
he's the voice of Mcbain Rallycross, Extreme E, rallied himself.
You've definitely heard him. You don't have to watch it, and you'll have heard him.
Guy's a legend. So I was surprised at this because I thought it was going to be a 306 Maxi. Because if you watch his Instagram, he has to post a few of them every month. because I think otherwise he gets a bit ill if he don't like listen to
it's
one.
It's a bit like, do you know Paul Woodford? He did the commentary for Special Stage. He was also manager at Cadwell. He's always posting pictures of Clan Crusaders just because they're from Lincolnshire.
Yeah, fair enough.
So, but he's like the Clubman rally spec version of Andrew Coley, really. No.
Yeah, fair enough. Sure he'll appreciate that.
He's a good lad as well.
Yeah, so, favourite kart and driver is
Mcrae. Watching this, I'm sorry.
Yeah, Mcrae in the 95 Group A Impreza, which, fair play.
You can't argue with that, really, can you?
Can't argue with that, no. Well, you can, but you'd be wrong, wouldn't you?
Yeah, you can have an opinion, but it certainly won't be right.
Yeah, I mean, if you have got an opinion that you don't like Mcrae, come and tell us, and we'll tell you that you should, and we'll live happily ever after.
And we'll just leave it like that.
Yeah.
All the Group A Imprezas, cool.
On that bombshell.
So, next up, Jardine Crooks, who's the BTRDA Rallycross coordinator.
Yeah.
She's, she keeps that championship going. Michael Schumacher was always the one she loved as a kid, which is fair, actually, because when I used to watch, when I used to watch F1 as a kid, it was the Michael Schumacher days.
I don't even think watching F1 just thinking about motorsport around that time, he was the biggest person in it by far, I'd probably say.
Yeah. And then him and Matt Neal, because the one with Matt Neal actually is pretty cool. So she had a poster signed in person by Matt Neal which said, "Give Mum hell." Her mum was a marshal and he knew her from the marshalling. So, literally from, as she said, from like a few days old, she was at events. A bit like yourself, Harry.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, I
mean, you were either a Matt Neal fan or a Jason Plato fan, so I'll have to disagree on that one. But
pretty much, yeah.
Well, if anyone disagrees with Andy, come and tell us, and Andy will tell you that you shouldn't.
Take your hand and go, fair play.
Fair play, you've got an opinion, but it's wrong.
I don't
I'm sure
it's okay, you're right.
Yeah.
I'll never forget, after one of the races where they were like nearly fighting in pit lane, and obviously Matt Neal's like 7 foot tall or something. And it was just
I was just angry and he's like a little bulldog, isn't it?
It was hilarious.
And then you can hear Jason Plato's dad going, "Oh, for fuck's sake, Steve, tell him to stop it."
Oh man. Next up is Dave Ewing, who is. You know what? Dave Ewing's probably one of my favourite drivers of all time. Absolutely love the bloke.
Is that because you saw him the other day?
Yeah, I was on the same sail as him. Ever since the first rallycross event I went to, I talked to him there, and he's an absolute quality guy. He's got a Mark III Fiesta with an Evo 6 engine and rear wheel drive, and the wide arches, which is just stupid, and it's awesome. So, he was saying he's always been a Tommy Christopherson fan, the Johan Christopherson fan. And his red, green, and silver S2 Audi S2 because he was with the Audi team, team. So we did the Audi Quattros and S2s. That has to be his all-time favourite car, and that's also why he's a fan of Johan, because obviously loved his dad growing up. He's a big fan of Andreas Backerud. This is true. He said he's just such a good down-to-earth guy. He was racing the RX 150s at Pembury Backerud once, and he was going out to race as Dave was coming back in on the telehandler with his right hand side wheel and suspension hanging off.
Right, okay.
An hour later they fixed it up and he was heading back to the grid, and as he was going down, Backerud was walking back up, so he stopped, saw the car running again, had a massive grin and put his thumbs up at him as he was going out. He just said that just made my weekend. He's like, literally for this, what we class as a superstar, to acknowledge like he was there, that's basically summed up rallycross to him. So that's fair enough. His next one was Ash Simpson. Now, you might not be aware of Ash Simpson. Ash Simpson was a very young driver, actually, and he won...
Didn't he have a Lotus Exige?
He did. What a boy!
I work with his brother, Russ.
Oh, cool,
Russ at Janetta. He's Lawrence's, like, mechanic.
Oh, sick, yeah.
Yeah,
because he...
Because Russ was pretty good as well, and Russ has done a bit of lead Janettas and whatever.
Yeah, because that's...
pretty little face on us.
Dave Ewing has just subscribed to you on YouTube.
Because he's a legend. Actually, Dave does watch all stuff as well.
Well, why ain't he subscribed already then?
Because I don't. No, Dave, you're an absolute legend, mate. Yeah,
that was just a good timing, wasn't it?
I want to get him on the. I want to get him on the podcast one day. The problem is, I don't think we're gonna stop talking because I'm pretty sure we just stood on the dance floor with people being very drunk doing the Macarena around us on Saturday night, just talking for an hour about, well, rallycross and shit. So, Andrew, you'll have your hands full. But it's a challenge that I think has to be accepted. So Ash Simpson. So Ash, and because Ash obviously won the Super National in the Exige, but he also went back in the day when you had the progressive finals. He got into basically the supercar final. He's one of the only real drives in there.
Was that like what? Do you remember when Top Gear did the episode of the Rallycross, and I think Jeremy Clarkson managed to find his way into Richard Hammond's final? Was it a bit like that?
Yes, so that was BTRDA, and was it at Pembury?
No, we're Lyddon.
No, Lyddon.
Was it Lyddon?
Yeah.
So what you do get at Pembury, you get at Knockhill. No, I've only watched clips of it. Also, what car did Clarkson use?
BM.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it was a BM.
328 coupe.
He didn't do very well then.
Wasn't it the same one that he did circuit racing in?
Don't know because it was sold not long ago. Still with the trim and stuff on it.
With penis and oils or something inside of it.
Probably, yeah.
Larson's biscuits.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you can get where if you say you've got like a C final, you've qualified for that C final, you can get the next one. Now, obviously, Hammond was in production, so he was in a Saxo, if I remember correctly. And Clarkson was in super modified.
And May was in, was it a Celica or something?
Don't know.
Like a new sort of spec Toyota sort of. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe so. So yeah, it could have been that what they also do is a
I think it was an MRC.
super final, grand final. I'm gonna get really told off for getting this wrong, whatever the name is. But basically, like your fastest lap cars for the day have like a super final. They used to do it in the British final and in the Grand Prix, I believe.
Do you want to know something else about this?
I've not even finished this actually, but yeah, go. Oh yeah, because it's related. Go.
He is Lewis Hamilton's tyre man.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. Bit of extra information that you might, because he's on TV all the time. If you notice, I mean, you don't watch F1.
May had a Toyota MR2, and Hammond did in fact have a Saxo VTS.
Yeah, so he'd have been in production.
Kimi Räikkönen were in that episode.
Yeah.
And starring a reasonably priced car.
Why Clarkson wasn't in retro if it was an E36?
E328i.
Because they weren't retro back then.
Probably not. Probably like 2 years old. It was in 2012, this episode.
Oh, fair enough.
That's back in the...
See, I'm the one who's normally talking on.
I know, you can't shut Andy up tonight.
It's the only time that'll ever happen, like. But yeah, so David said that he was basically the most natural, gifted driver he's ever seen or raced against, and he could just do things with a car that he just had to see to believe. So I think
that was like me yesterday in the Astra.
Yeah. So
moving on.
Yeah, no, that Astra was actually. Have you seen that video, Andrew?
No.
Post it in the Discord for him because that was ridiculous. And then his last one was.
It just doesn't stop. It's great.
I don't get how that revs so high. I didn't realise you could get rev tops to rev that high because it just didn't stop bloody revving.
I know. When I looked at the clock, we was doing 115 going up to the square right, square left at Blighton through the twisty section. It's literally as you start a new lap on Blighton. In fact, do you know when you come out the pits, you got that short straight before it, hadn't you? And then you got that corner before then. We were going through the twisty bit through there, and we was doing 115 before we jumped on the brakes, and it just stopped. I was well out of the seat because my belts weren't done up tight.
Well,
and that was Larry.
Yes. Right. Anyway, before time runs out,
we've got 10 minutes.
Of these current drivers, Tony Lynch drives a Mark 1 MR2. He said it's another really down to earth guy, and it's quite a bunch of it's an amateur team, but they really present themselves very professionally, more so than
unlike my team.
yeah, basically. And then for his cars, he's an Escort fan, which makes sense. But it's not the Mark 1 and Mark 2s. It's the Mark 5s and Mark 6, the Cosworth styles, the big whale tails, the WRCs. All that stuff. And then he actually sent me 2 more cars later on when he remembered it.
Yeah.
The Fiat 131R Bath in the Italian colours.
Yeah.
Man. And the Lancia Delta HF Integrale in the I'm going to pronounce it wrong. I'm just going to say Repsol colours.
I'm pretty sure that's how you say it. Mm-hmm.
No, sounds Repsol.
Hey?
Yeah, that'll be the driver. So. But that's his one.
Repsol.
What? What about? No, I missed out the word that I couldn't pronounce and just told you Repsol. So, next one, Mr. Lee Keeler.
The man, the myth, the legend.
Yes, the Astra VXR.
Oh.
Yeah.
That car there, to be precise. I still
not that anybody listening to this on anything other than YouTube will be able to see that, but.
A very good point.
And now I've broke my camera and I'm really dark, so good.
You are. No one. So yeah, for him, we'll go up in the Metro 6R4 by Turbo, which absolutely fair play. That thing looked insane as a car. We then had Ian Luffman Smith. So Ian's he's got an ST150 that he's building.
Yeah.
He's also
Andy, take notes here, mate.
Yeah, man.
Howdy now.
For you and your little gasket seals and whatever.
So right. He's also representing prostate cancer, and he's also going through treatment himself at the minute. Yeah, absolute legend. So he was saying that his cousin started rallying back in the 80s.
Yeah.
And that's where we got the bug, just watching him and being part of his crew. He was a fan of your Malcolm Wilsons, your Jimmy McRae's, and obviously later on Colin. He's always been a Ford guy, hence obviously he's gone to the ST150 now. He's rallied 4 Fords in the past. He's done 2 Mark 1 Escort Mexicos, and he's done 2 Escort Mark 2 RS 2000s. And then his other thing was when he used to marshal with the 1982 Lombard RAC.
What a man.
Group Bs were there and at their best. And he just said that just blew his mind. We've then got Brad Westgaff, obviously, of the Evo 6 fame, which we posted up recently on socials that we'll be doing some video work with.
Yeah.
He actually went to me, do you even need to ask? And now that he said who it is, it kind of makes sense, bearing in mind he has an Evo 6.
I knew you were going to say that.
Yeah, Tommy Mack in an Evo. All right. Yeah, fair enough. That makes a lot of sense.
That is the one Evo you go to as a memorable one, isn't it?
He's got an Evo 6 RS, which is now.
We saw a standard one yesterday. Evo 6 at Blighton. Bog standard. It was beautiful.
Yeah, man. It looks smart. Good cars. Really good car. I do like him.
Well, I did just say at the beginning of the episode that I don't like Evos, but we'll forget.
We'll let off for this 6ers. Why not?
I'll rephrase it. I tolerate them.
You don't actually see them, do you?
I've got blue blood. I'm a Ford man, but everything else is alright.
Right. It's got an engine and it's got wheels. It'll do.
Yeah.
We had Wes Wickens.
Oh, right. Okay. Wes Wickens. Here we go.
Wes is the mini driver. Good guy. So his actually was Jensen Button and Braun GT. And then he went into Matt Neal and the Dynamics team.
Bad
Someone's
choice. He started well, but it's just gone down.
I thought that when I read that, Andrew's gonna love it, and then just go, "Oh, Wes, what are you doing?"
The best thing about that team was when Matt Neal and Shedden crashed into each other on the last lap on last corner.
Yeah.
Made my year. That.
I'm going to become a Matt Neal fan now, just to sort of...
He don't race anymore, so you can do whatever you want. I don't care.
He still manages his team, doesn't he?
I don't give a crap.
I don't give a crap. I'm Big Andy Edwards from Bonty and I don't give a crap.
From Garforth now, mate. From your neck of the woods. Know where you work.
Yeah. I know where you drink.
True.
If you're not in the hot tub, you're in the Lord Gascoigne.
Living life.
Having his Coronas and his cheesy chips.
Yeah, man.
No, he's sweet potato chips.
Yeah,
oh, yeah.
Well,
he does like his sweet potato chips.
In Lord Gascoigne.
And then finally, we've got Jamie Mcbain. So Jamie's a 205 Retro Rallycross.
He's your best friend now, isn't he?
No. I just talk to him a bit because I like talking to people about cars and
shit.
He
just talks to everybody. Everybody's his best friends if they like cars.
If they like cars and like rallying and rallycross, probably gonna like him.
Who do you message the most like during the day?
Probably Andrew.
It's definitely not me anymore. You hardly message me anymore.
That's actually because I'm quite busy.
Oh, well.
Busy? You never stop messaging me.
No, that's because you have breaks, so you just get them all in one go when you get there.
Yeah.
Because I've had a
even when I'm not at work. Even when I'm not at work.
Very much. No, it's you two, definitely. I doubt.
Babes.
Don't we feel privileged?
I don't know.
I wouldn't do. I'm quite an handful. I'm a bit of a pain. I'd hate to be a mate of myself. I'd be so annoying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You reckon?
Yeah, I do. But it's tough, innit? You put up with it now, you're screwed.
I know.
So,
Andy, I'm going to get this for Beamer and I'm going to find somewhere to store it. And next year I'm doing like WRX, you know.
You said this 2 years
WRX.
ago. So.
Yeah. In 2 years ago, it was basically a year with a contingency plan, which is hopefully going to be next year. Yeah.
Next year, saying, "Oh, next year, I can't wait to get out competed."
Yeah, then that'll be year after. We're gonna try. Don't you worry. Don't you worry.
Yeah, we're gonna try.
Don't you worry. So finally, we're gonna end on, and this is actually probably pretty obvious coming from Jamie McRae in the 205.
Oh, that's a good choice. That's a good choice.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's before his crashing days as well.
Yeah, Mom.
So
good on it. I'm a fan of that.
On that note,
definitely.
We have come to the end.
Yeah.
Yeah. We have.
Let us know your favourite vehicles and drivers. Yeah. If it's Matt Neal and any Honda, I am not interested in the slightest.
Andy will tell you.
You got one of my modern day drivers. I forgot one of my modern day influencing drivers.
Well, you've got 50 seconds.
Miso Steele, he's a drifter. He spent years in Japan.
I'm surprised you didn't mention drifting at all. I am really surprised.
I did mention drifting. I said to you, I kind of came out of motorbikes, rallying, and then up Townway and got into drifting. And yet, when I'm
not gonna get in. We could go on for ages now, but we've got 50, probably like 30 seconds less.
Metal Defiance link is called on Instagram.
Yeah.
Just Japanese culture, which obviously.
Like, comment, subscribe on Horry Walshaw Motorsport. Job done.
Legend of a guy.
Just ignore what Jonathan's saying, it's fine. No, I'm joking, he's a nice guy.
Andrew Motorsport, Instagram, Facebook, you know how it is. And the Road Hunters.
Of course, the Road Hunters. And also my channel.
Yeah. XXX Big Mac 99, whatever XX.
Link that Andrew's putting below, that'll be easier.
Yeah, it's all on there.
In the description,
So, yep.
He needs some love because he's not having much luck on iRace.
I need to take the Linktree actually with your Harry Walshaw Motorsport page.
And on that note, we'll end there. Because we've gone over an hour now, so see you
Sorry
later.
people, it was fun. Bye, stay safe.
I hope you don't have a promise on.
Bye.